Good evening, Shatika Hessa here, coming to you, wanting to tell you how we can help you retire before you expire. So if that's what you desire, what you aspire, we are the ones you hire. Our goal really is to get your bank account on fire with a whole lot of lifetime tax-free retirement income that you will not, somebody say will not outlive. All right. I'm not going to be before you long. I only want to be strong. That's always my endeavor. Let's see if we can do this in about 20 to 25 minutes or less. Let's go. All right. So I am a retirement consultant. And so the primary thing that I do is help individuals like yourself to win in wealth, uh, in retirement and beyond. The goal is to make sure that your family is taken care of even after your retirement. And if that's not happening, then what are we doing? Right. And so, even as I'm speaking to you, I am trying to get this to be omnipresent. And so, I'm trying out something new on Instagram because my goal is to try to get everything out in multiple streams as much as possible. Because this Friday, I will not be available this Friday evening. Unfortunately, we did have death in the family on Saturday when I left from the expo. I went to visit my aunt, and that was the last time I saw her. She took her last breath, and so she transitioned. So my family is definitely going to be here, and we're just going to have a beautiful celebration of her life. She was like a mother growing up, one that took care of me along with her other five children. So I will never forget those amazing memories of my cousins that are like siblings to me. And so I definitely want to pay homage to her this weekend and with my family. So let's go into the content. Thank you all for your condolences. And I know for some, you've been wanting to see this information, but so much has happened since Saturday. All right, but it's great to see some of you guys at the expo. You guys, it's always good to see people in person and have those conversations. All right, so we're 2 minutes, 3 minutes in almost, and I'm going to make this slide a little larger, make myself a lot smaller so you can see the slide. And we're just going to go for it because I'm not going to be able to get this look like to work for Instagram for whatever reason. So let's go right into it. If I was to ask you a question, have you saved enough money in retirement? What would you say? 100% of people tell me that they have not saved enough money in retirement. 100% of people. And for that very reason, I go hard because I want to catch the younger generation, even though this is not something that is as attractive to them. And I'm not sure why, because when I was 23, I was all about my coins. I wish I would have met the individual that would have taught me some of the things that I'm going to be speaking to you about this evening, because this has been around for quite some time. It's nothing new. It's just that for a lot of communities, this is not information that we, had access to, or wasn't interested in. But I want to make sure that we understand that there are real problems out here. There's something called retirement poverty. There is something called running out of money in retirement. People are living way too long with advancements in technology, medical technology. And so we can get you to still be able to win. All right. When it comes to your retirement, and I got a huge amount of people on. Thank you. Definitely let me put on the comments so I can see what you're saying. If you're saying anything, let me look, make sure I got that on. All right. Feel free to ask questions as we go through. I'm good with that. All right. Let's go right into it. I'm going to the next slide. Now, retirement wellness is what we're talking about tonight, because retirement wellness is what's keeping people from retiring, right? Most people are not retirement well. Most people don't have enough money saved. And so I want to talk about the 6 steps to financial freedom. And these are the reasons why most people are simply not able to retire. I can't go one by one like I normally would in a PowerPoint presentation, because I'm in a how should I say it, in a mode of doing a video, so you get to see it all at one, and I hate that because I want to do one by one. But we're going to move really quickly for the sake of time. Cash flow, everybody know that's self-explanatory. Your money should be making money for you while you sleep. right? Your money should be making money babies, as Marvin says. Warren Buffett says, unless your money is making money for you while you're sleeping, you are going to work for money all the days of your life. And so that is the reason why the average person will not be able to retire, or if they retire, it would be very short lived. They will end up going back to the workforce. I'm going to show you why in just a second when I go over a case study. Number two, emergency fund. The average person don't have $1,000 or $600 in their bank account. Why not? Okay. You should have at least a year, to be honest with you. COVID, the pandemic, if nothing else, showed us that. Okay. And then number three, debt management. Is not enough to consolidate your debt. You have got to eliminate your debt. How do you do that? Not the debt, what is it called? The snowball effect. That's not the best way to go. The best way to go is the avalanche. All right. So I want you to research that if you don't know what that is. But basically, you're going to go with the highest interest debt that you have, no matter which size that amount is. Start with that amount first, so that particular bill first, and then work your way down. That's going to get you out of debt the fastest. Okay. Number four, proper protection. The average person has a lot of money. Some people have a lot of money in their accounts, and I'm not sure why. I spoke to a person that says he wants to give his children $150,000, $50,000 for 3 children, and he had it in the bank, and I didn't understand why. Why do you have money in the bank, people? Why do you have money in the bank? You are becoming poorer every single day. I don't care, because you're only making 0.001%. Okay, and if inflation is at 9% or more, you are becoming poorer every day. Why would you not let your money produce money babies for you, make money for you, and work harder for you than you are working for the money? It doesn't, it's not, the math is a math thing. The sense is not making sense. Okay. So I need you to take a look at how you're compounding your money. Number five, building wealth. We just talked about outpacing inflation. Kind of went ahead of myself a little bit. I want to talk about proper protection first, because what we're talking about tonight is you need to have your money protected from market volatility. You need to have your money protected from taxation. You need to have your money protected from lawsuits. Okay. And then we can go into building wealth. Right now, you want to make sure that you have the money in something that's going to make money for you while you're sleeping, so that you can outpace inflation. All right. And who better to do that than someone that understands how to make money work for you, like a professional money manager? Because I know everybody says, buy term and invest the rest, but the average individual don't know how to invest. The average individual is going to lose money. The average individual, they're getting closer to retirement. And so that risk portfolio should be centered more towards not having as much risk, not being as risk averse, right? Lessening the risk burden, right? All right. Making sure that your risk management is there. Now, number six, preservation of your wealth. We talked about all of this, but let's talk about not just retirement, but beyond retirement, making sure that you're building a family legacy. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. The only financial vehicle that is out there that's going to give you all 6 steps to financial freedom. Let me be clear about it, because I've had money everywhere scattered. I've had it in crypto. I've had it in real estate. I've had it in stocks. I've had it in all types of trades. Okay. The only financial vehicle that you can put your money in, and I put my name on this, okay, is a permanent cash value policy. And here's why. All these 6 steps that I just talked about, there is no other financial vehicle that you can get all 6 steps with except a permanent cash value policy. Someone that has been a multi-dimensional investor. Like I said, I've bought 6 properties. I've done stocks, all those things I just told you about. There is only one vehicle. Everything else you're going to pay capital gains taxes for. Everything else is not liquid. You can access your money when you need it. You can become the bank and do what you need to do when you need to do it, when you have an emergency. Okay. And if you're trying to pay off debt, why would you not have your money working for you in 2 places? Working inside of the policy, building cash value for you while it's over here in a loan status, growing, lessening your debt burden, paying down your debt at the exact same time. Why not have them both working for you, right? So people say, I need to pay off my debt first, and then I'll save up money. And no, sweetheart. You can do them both at the same time. Where do they do that at? They do that at the Index Universal Life, right? So I'm sure y'all have heard about that. And if you haven't, go do your research, because I know y'all just taking notes. And right now, you should have a pen and paper. You should have everything turned off, because I'm about to go deeper, quicker, and you got to just catch up, because there may not be a replay. All right. So at the end of the day, I want you to make sure that you understand that your money can be working for you at least 2 to 4 times. at least 2 to 4 times inside of a policy. Where else can you do that at? Nowhere else. Absolutely nowhere else. I told you I was a multi-dimensional investor. I've done it all. I know it all in terms of how to invest. So I'm telling you, this is the only product. Your money can be in 2 places at the same time. Okay, proper protection. We talk about protecting your money. I don't care where else you have your money at. If you get sued, divorce, IRS, taxation, whatever, they can take everything from you. But if your money is inside of this type of account, they can't touch it. The courts can't see it. Okay, the taxes can't listen. They can't put a levy on this. Okay, so let's be clear about it. Right now, outpacing inflation again. Your money got to be making money for it. I'm not going to be the dead horse. We're going to keep moving because we're going to try to do this in 20 minutes. Enough about my story. If you go and you Google me on YouTube or whatever, I have a 4-minute documentary about where I've been, who I am, and all that good stuff. You can go to shatikahustler.com. You can learn more about me there. But let's talk about which protection would you choose. You got 6 protections here, right? We just talked about protecting your money. Let's talk about stock market. Let's talk about income tax. Let's talk about medical costs. Let's talk about infinite income. Let's talk about legacy protection. And let's talk about money protection, right? All 6 of these protections, which one would you choose? Which one would you choose? I'm going to ask you that, right? You don't have to choose because this is a type of account that you don't have to choose. You can get all 6 of these types of protections inside of this account. And here's how. Let's start off with stock market protection. Why would you put your money in the stock market when you're trying to prepare for retirement and lose the money and the money don't rebound for you? Okay. What's Warren Buffett's rule number 1 and rule number 2? When they went back and said, okay, we understand rule number 1, Warren Buffett. What about rule number 2? They said, go back. He said, go back to rule number 1 and tell me why would you lose money? He said, go back to rule number 1 and never lose money. And that's a big deal, right? Don't pay taxes. Don't lose money in the market, all of that. So the average individual, they're going to have their money inside stocks, mutual funds, and all these types of things because they want a high return. But what if that's high risk and you lose your money? Then other people, they're real conservative and they want to be safe. They want their principal to be untouched. So they put their money in like bank accounts and money market. And it's low risk, but it's low return. And it's going to take them forever to win in wealth and to be able to retire. What if there was a way that you can have the best of both worlds, right? What if you could have low risk and high returns at the same time? This red line that you're seeing is your average stocks, mutual funds, okay? Things that are in the market. You see how it had a double dip 8 years the first time back in the 1999 through like 2003, and then it dipped again around 2006 to 2010, okay? And we're in another dip, okay, coming out of one eventually. Let me just say this. Who has time to wait for the market to rebound in their lifetime? Or who has time to stay working until the market returns them their money? Who has that kind of time? I don't know about you, but life is short, okay? This red line that you see, like I said, is the stocks and mutual funds, those types of things. But that purple line that you see above it, that is an index fund. Index funds are not going to ever lose a penny, okay? Let's be clear about that. All right. So the same person that had $100,000 would have lost about 60,000 and another 60,000. Okay. But why do that? When you know better, you do better. You educate yourself and you say, I know index funds are the safest type of fund for me to put my money in. That's why I'm going to go that route. Okay. Now, the main thing you need to understand is the goal is to stay out of the red. You saw all the losses in 2000 all the way down, back and forth. Who has that kind of time, like I said, right? Income tax protection. Pay the lowest possible income tax in retirement. We already know that we're in the lowest place right now for income taxes ever, 40%. And we know that by 2033, according to Congressional Budget Office, the taxes are going to double. They're already going to be moving forward. We're already over $33 trillion in debt because we like to help every other country, right? Like we are the savior of the world, right? But we're going to pay taxes. And guess what? There's less people paying into the tax system, more people becoming entrepreneurs. So who's going to pay these taxes? The people that are W-2 are going to pay the most. I'm going to tell you that right now. But all these ways, look, you're going to pay taxes on your wages. You're going to pay taxes when you spend money on sales taxes. You're going to pay taxes on your income. Honey, you're going to be paying taxes when you die, okay? It's all going to be taxation, okay? Social Security, interest, all these different taxations, all right? Listen, this is the pie that I want you to understand. This is the Robert Kiyosaki cash flow quadrant that everybody needs. When you get this, you get it. When you get it, you get it, okay? 95% of people, my face is over it, but 95% of people are either working for somebody else or they working for themselves. Nothing wrong with that. I did that for many years as an Army officer, corporate executive with $2 billion companies. But I didn't know what I didn't know, making all that money, that if I would have just had a little side hustle like the person people know about now, that's why there's less taxes going into the system and more that the W-2 people are going to end up having to pay, because people are getting really, really smart. And they're saying, I need a side hustle because I want to take advantage of what the pandemic did for us with 675 deductions. We went from like 425 to pandemic 675 deductions. And they said, well, let me go get something going on here so that I can be able to take advantage of these itemized deductions so I don't have to pay so much taxes. So you are in the highest tax bracket when you are either a 1099 or a W-2. Now, when you become a business owner and you're an investor, you get the smooth sail, right? Because the tax code is written for you. 45. The tax code is written for you. The people that understand how money works. This is how money works. When you are a W-2, you are going to be paying a lot of taxes. Okay, $33 trillion and more. The last time I stopped looking at the debt clock. Okay, we're just in debt. We're going to be paying taxes. So what are you doing? Are you going to be taxable now, tax deferred later, or tax free never? I'll tell you that 95% of you are going to be tax deferred. 95% of you are in some type of employer plan where I used to be. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. My question to you is, would you pay your taxes on the seed, or are you going to pay your taxes on the harvest? Would you rather pay taxes on $20,000 today or $200,000 tomorrow? You got to ask yourself those questions, right? So all of these are tax codes. Everything you see on here, including the Roth IRA, although you already paid the taxes on the Roth IRA, so now it's tax free, it still can lose money in the market. So don't think you're safe, right? The Roth IRA can still lose money, just like everything else that you see here. These are all called qualified funds, qualifying you to have to pay taxes. You want your money in a non-qualified account so you don't have to pay taxes, right? So that tax free. Why? Because the IRS code 7702 says you don't have to pay taxes. Let me be clear. That's what the IRS code 7702 said. I didn't say that. Shatika didn't say that. IRS code 7702. Go look it up in irs.gov. Okay. If you think I'm making this up, I can't make this up, right? But you are paying taxes if you're a W-2 employee, or if you're a business owner doing a SEP IRA. You know what I mean? Or if you're a frontline worker, with a 457, or a teacher with a 403B, if you're an industry person, 401k, TSP, if you're in the military, government, I've had them all. I know what they do, and they're going to have to pay taxes. And so the question is, do you want to pay taxes now or in the future? Medical costs is causing 69% of people to end up going bankrupt because they don't have a plan. Does your retirement account right now have a plan for if you have chronic, critical, or terminal illness? Let me tell you, we had a young lady, she had cancer, ended up writing her a check for $80,000 because she needed $80,000 for her cancer formula. Listen, if you have a stroke, we're going to strike you a check, right? If you have the right type of retirement income account, you don't have the right type of account, you're going to be short. You're going to be depleting your retirement account because you have a chronic, critical, terminal illness that nobody plans to have, but you have heart attack, you have cancer, you have stroke, you have dementia, you have these different types of illnesses that nobody plans to have. But what is your plan? What is your plan on your aging parent? Are they going to deplete your account because you don't have a plan for them either, right? So let's look at this, because 70 to 80% of people will have a medical challenge in retirement. This is a real problem that we need real solutions to, that the average person is sleeping on, and you got to stop sleeping, right? Because what are you going to do? $277,000 is the average cost for people that are over age 65. I know my picture's in front of things, but that's the basic. You just need to understand the bottom line is you need to have long-term care plan in place, especially if you know that you have challenges in your family history. All right. Infinite income. Everybody wants that income in retirement. They know about Social Security, but they don't know how to design their own retirement account, because if Social Security is not around, like economic experts are saying, okay, the economists are saying by 2033, somewhere around there won't be there won't be Social Security. But if there is, it won't amount to a hill of beans compared to what's happening with inflation. Okay, it's going to be so minuscule It might be your lunch for the week. That's it, honestly, because inflation is going, right? So what are you going to do to supplement or replace Social Security, right? So infinite income, it comes into play when you have a plan that's going to supplement. So the main thing we get together and talk about is, where do you want to be? What is your vision in retirement? How much money do you need to have every single month in retirement? Because if you're going to be 40% of what you're making today, how are you going to close the gap? How are you going to still live? Or are you going to become a burden on your children's children? If you live that long, right? So what are you going to do? What is your plan, right? So put your money to work for you today to help you preserve the lifestyle you want for tomorrow. Simply put, the life expectancy for male versus female, we already know females are outliving the males, right? By 95, you'll have 13% versus 7% of people still living as a female versus a male. But the expected cost of healthcare while in retirement is about $285,000. And the life expectancy, listen, the biggest problem that people don't think about is, what if I outlive my money? And that's what we're about to get into right now in this case study. I'm getting to the meat and potatoes of this. The longer you live, the bigger the retirement gap. Long story made short, there is a high cost of waiting. It's called an opportunity cost. So the longer you wait to get a plan designed, the more money you're going to have to bring to the table. Let's just be real clear. Instead of bringing 300, you might have to bring 700. And here's the reason why. Because you have two women, right? In this example, one is age 25. She has $350 a month. She's clear at 25 that she needs to do something. Okay. She does it with a 403B. Okay. The other lady is 40 years old. She finally gets it at 40, but now she got to pay double than what the person paid at age 25. Instead of putting 350 in, she has to put 700 in. And she still, look at the numbers, she still will not have enough, or I would say she would not even compete with the 25-year-old, even at double the amount of money per month, because she started so late. $315,000 versus $326,000. She's still behind, even though she's paying double for that additional, I should say, for that 25 years, right? From 40 to 65. So, I mean, it's really a high cost of waiting. And so let's jump right into this part here. I really want to get to talk about another slide. Let me look for it. Let me see. Did I bring it in here? I did not bring it in here. I should have, because it's really important that you see it. So give me 1 second to pull it up, because it's very important for you to see this other slide. I apologize. I've been making a lot of revisions to these slides because I have so many. But give me 1 second. I'm going to let it stay on that for now. I want you to see this case study. Because it's very important that you see this case study, because brother A versus brother B is the reason why I go extremely hard in these retirement planning streets, because I know that the average person don't understand this, and that's what you're in the 95 percentile, most of you. And just give me 1 second to pull up another slide really quickly. Just give me like less than 60 seconds. Feel free to ask any questions that you may have. And let me see this in this one here. What is there? Give me 1 second. I wish there was a faster way I can get to it, but okay, here we go. All right, I am going to make myself small so you can see it. All right, so this is huge. Brother A versus brother B. All right, let's go back one slide. They both start out at age 35, okay? And at age 35, they both are making 8% interest, right? So brother A believes in the old way. That's the way I used to believe, the way 95% of America believe, get this 401k, this 403b, this 457, this TSP, this IRA, all those types of accounts, versus the new way, which is a retirement readiness income account that I'm trying to help everybody understand. I need you to go tell somebody about the retirement readiness income account. That's what they need for retirement, okay? Now, brother A is putting away $6,500, right, a year. His employer is matching him at $1,050. That's what we do. We say, oh, I need to match. I'm making something happen. I got the match. We ran the numbers, even with the match. The match don't take care of market volatility. The match don't take care of those high fees that's incorporated through mutual funds. All mutual funds have high fees. The match does not take care of taxation and having tax freedom, right? And so when we looked at the numbers, and we have all these softwares that we look at, it doesn't matter that you have that little bit of a match. It's really benefiting the company. Let's just be clear about it. But because that's a tax write-off for them. But at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we're going to see what happens. I'm not going to spill it. You know how people tell you the movie and then they tell you what's going to happen. Hey, I'm not going to do that. Brother B did the retirement readiness income account way. And he said, I understand. I went and got educated. I'm not going to be ignorant. Y'all not going to fool me. I'm going to go the new way. Okay. The way that I currently am right now, and the way that I'm trying to explain it to everyone else. After 30 years, brother A ends up with 858,000 versus the brother B. These are real numbers, everybody. We didn't make this. These are real numbers, okay? 709. So he's slightly above because of the employer match, slightly, right? About 150,000, right? But he's now 65 years old. Listen, he has to let go of that rented insurance. The rented insurance is no longer available, right? So if he's going to get insurance, he's 65. Where he's going to get insurance from? That's going to be reasonable. He's 65. He may not be in the best health. So now you're talking about an average $12,000 policy a year because he's super older, right? Like he's older. Like if you are 65, you're paying a lot for insurance. So that rented insurance goes away. Okay. And the money that he was paying into that 401k, remember, it was tax deferred. Okay. Making him look like he's making less money. But now he has all his taxes to pay in retirement. So brother B, on the other hand, he don't worry about none of that. Okay. He don't worry about no taxes. He's not worrying about his money, losing money in the market. He's not worrying about those high fees. Listen, if he has chronic, critical, terminal illness, heart attack, cancer, stroke, or dementia, he is good to go. He can rest at night because rest assured, he has peace of mind and financial security. He is set for the rest of his life. Okay. Now, it's not about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. It's all about the taxes. I keep telling y'all the taxes is the termites that people they overlook. Ignorance is your number one issue when it comes to financial literacy. Ignorance. Number two is going to be taxation, right? So let's go to the next slide. This is what happens after we just talked about 65. Now they're in retirement. This is why I go hard. This slide right here. That's why I had to get to this slide. Forget the rest. All right. Because the average individual is going back to work unless they have a real good pension. They got things paid off. They did really well. They're going back to work in their 70s. Or they're going back to work. Why? Because between 9 and 11 years into retirement, the average person is going back to work because they're going to run out of money. Because all you have is all you have in a 401k, 403b, 457, whatever it is. All you have is all you have. There is no leverage. If you're taking notes, write down the word leverage. Leverage is how you stay retired. Okay. Brother B has leverage. Look at those numbers before I even get to them, right? I ran these numbers for people on real carrier cases. Okay. These are real numbers. He will make almost six figures. Okay. For the rest of his life because of how he structured his money, how he put his money in the right type of account. These are real numbers. We didn't make this up. I don't have no reason to sit here and lie to you. Listen, my integrity is everything. All right. At the end of the day, he'll have $3.4 million that he would have left his family if he lived to be 100, because people are living longer. Okay. And he would have lived off over $3 million in income tax free money. Okay. That is what we're talking about. All right. He can listen, he has peace of mind. His money is good. He didn't worry about no employer match, anything, because he realized that he's going to get older. He's going to need long-term care. He's going to need income. His family is going to need something when he's gone. Listen, if he don't pay all of his bills, it doesn't matter because they get a death benefit at the end of the day. Right. And oh, by the way, his money that he has inside of his index universal life policy, let's just be clear what it is. All right. That's the one that's preferred because that's the one that's going to grow the most over time. Okay. That's the one that has the most flexibility. So if you lose your job, your cash value will pay for your premiums until you get another job. That's the one that's going to give you the most death benefit over a whole life all day long. That's the one. Okay. But if you don't do it right, if you don't take out the loans right, you can make it be taxable. You can make it lapse. So there's a lot of variables to understand about it that I can explain in a one-on-one or later on. All right. Because I know I want to be not too long. I want to be strong. But at the end of the day, brother B will fare off a whole lot better if he has any type of illness, and his families, his children will be okay because he will have left the longer he lives, the higher his death benefit goes up in a retirement readiness income account. This is the reason why we do what we do. All right. Now I can go to this right here. Any questions so far? I don't see any questions. Maybe I'm explaining this extremely well, but I don't see any questions. I want to offer most of your channel viewers. Okay, I'm not. Yeah, we'll talk about that later. All right. So supplemental savings. Okay, here's the deal. If you have, what kind of insurance do you have? Okay, so if you have term, whole life, universal life, variable universal life, you know, you see what's in red. You see how they all are pretty much going to grow for the most part and what's going to happen to them, right? The index universal life, the reason why it is like the upper echelon of all the different types of insurances is because of what I just mentioned, but because it's not the insurance that you have to die to use. You can use your money while you're living. You can become the bank. You have people talk about banking policies. A lot of people think it's whole life, but you can actually do it in IUL as well. I know how to do that. You don't have to do a whole life, because whole life is the most expensive type of policy that you could ever get, right? You're going to pay on it your whole life unless you're balling out of control, and you can structure it to be paid in as little as 7 years. Okay. Otherwise, you're going to be paying on it all of your life because it's super expensive. The index universal life is a sweet spot of right between the whole life and the term. You get more death benefit for the same amount of premium that you're using on a whole life policy. That's why people love the IUL. Listen, you want more death benefit, you want flexibility, you want greater growth over a long period of time. You want living benefits. In other words, if you have a heart attack, cancer, stroke, it automatically comes with the IUL. The average whole life, you might get it with it, but it's going to be an upcharge. IULs automatically come with that. You can take out tax-free loans. That's the reason why it's tax-free, because the IRS says as long as you take out loans, it's going to be tax-free. That's basically how you get around it. If you start taking out a bunch of withdrawals, you can actually cause your IUL to be taxable, because they're going to say you're treating your policy like an investment, and it's not an investment. People think policies are investment. They're not. They may operate like one, look like one. You're contributing to it like one, but it is not an investment. It is a financial asset class of a policy, and that's what it is. Okay. You can structure it to where you can put enough money in to where you can have an income for the rest of your life. Let me give you an example. I had a young man, 35 years old. He put $700 in. By the time he's 65, he'll have an income of $65,000 for the rest of his life. There's other types of accounts out there that's a lot more attractive, but you got to make 6 figures, and you have to be making it for the last 2 years, showing on your W-2. And you can do what's called premium bank financing. You can get $3 for every dollar that you put in. Boom, you got all this big pot of money growing for you to catch you up, because you may have started late. But you got to have the health and you got to have the wealth to get that type of a plan. That is a type of an IUL. It is the best policy type for someone that can afford it. Okay. Because an annuity can't even run circles around it because of the amount of income you're getting, long term, so you think about 6-figure income. If you're someone that's in your 20s and you making all this money and you put away 5 figures for 5 years, you're done. We call it the 5-year retirement plan. You're done. Okay. And now you got the premium bank financing paying for the other 10 years, a 15-year commitment. You get all this income for the rest of your life. I'm just telling you that really quickly because I'm not going to go through all those slides, but that's how that works. So I'm going to get off the whole non-qualified side of things, and I'm going back to the qualified, because remember we just talked about qualified. All those different types of employer plans are qualified accounts. An index universal life is a non-qualified account. Sometimes what people do is they pivot and they liquidate the qualified account, go ahead and bite the bullet, pay taxes on the seed, and pay into the IUL so that they can have the better of the two plans. Because if they get an index annuity, they're not going to have all of the benefits as an index universal life. But we understand that not everybody has the health. So the index annuity may work for the person that don't have the health and they just have the wealth. Okay. So let's move on to the next slide. Again, 433, 457, all these different types of accounts to the left, all the employer plans to the left. Okay. The biggest concern that you may have is that you have loss of principal. All right. You have, you may outlive your income, right? And so the goal is to try to see how can you stretch your money? How can you leverage your money? How can your money make money for you while you're sleeping and grow for you? People get these bonuses all the time. Well, where can I put my bonus? Great place to put your bonus. If you just want to have some good growth, because when you look at the IUL versus the index annuity and growth, the index annuity will outpace an IUL on average. Okay. On average, an index annuity is going to be significantly high. Listen, let me tell you something before you start going ahead and researching. All these carriers are not created equal. All these products are not created equal. They need to have high participation rates. Okay. So that you can have a real good sequence of returns. I know you don't know what I'm saying, but if you don't know what you don't know, but the average person that's selling these products, they need to understand that and they need to be able to explain that to you. So if you have an advisor talking to you, ask them about participation rates, ask them about caps, okay, all those types of things, because that's what makes the difference in the different policy types that you have and what they're offering. When it comes to index annuities, some of these carriers are giving you anywhere from 6 to 12% bonus on your money. So if you found some money somewhere, a lump sum, $100,000, and you go to a carrier, they're gonna give you $10,000 right there, boom, to turn that into an income, right? Because they want your money. All right. So basically, you're designing your own Social Security, okay? Because you got a lump sum of money somewhere, and you want that money to grow for you at a great rate, right? Now, past results don't equal future results, but we have seen some very significant returns in the index annuity family, right? Compared to stocks, where you're going to lose money in stocks, right? Because if the stock market crash, index annuity, you don't lose a penny. The only thing you can do is make money. Stock market crash, it's basically going to parallel the performance of the S&P 500 for the most part, based on how your the person that's advising you structures your account. Okay, that's going to determine how your money is going to grow. You have a say in that. You can ask them, how are you allocating the funds in my account and things of that nature, right? So we do offer index annuities as well, right? I like them for the simple fact that it is a safe haven for your retirement account. You cannot lose any money in it. But look at these benefits on the right hand side under the index annuity. Look at how you can get a bonus if you get the income. If you get the income annuity, you'll get a bonus, traditionally speaking, depending on what carrier. But I don't really care for it if you're a young person. If you're a young person, you're going to fare off a lot better with an accumulation annuity than you will an annuity with a bonus. I know you might like the bonus, it may look attractive, but long term, you won't make as much money because the par rates inside of an accumulation annuity is like double compared to what's in an income annuity. So for that little bit of money up front, you might as well just, especially if you got anything over 5 years of waiting, you really need to go ahead and get an accumulation annuity that's going to be a lot aggressive in growth, so that your money can grow for you significantly versus taking that bonus that, because your par rates won't be as high in terms of how it's going to grow. That's just generally speaking how it works with carriers. That I'm a broker. I don't work for Edward Jones, New York Life. I can't just listen. I'm not stuck with just a few products. I can get you into over 20 A-rated carriers across the nation. And we're in all 50 states, and we have access to be able to get into all 50 states. I personally am licensed in 19. But at the end of the day, you want to be in a product that's going to be able to help you to see your money growing. All right. We're at well over time at 37 minutes. I try to speak as fast as I can to get it all out. I think that's pretty much what I want to cover for tonight. I got a lot of different types of slides. I wanted to get to the basics, qualified versus non-qualified plan. I'm not going to go into some other things. They're more sophisticated and advanced topics, but I definitely want to make sure that I covered what need to be covered. So if you're someone that have a bonus, an index annuity is ideal for you because it's going to allow your money to grow for you. And you can see you can look at the historical data and how these annuities have done. Past results don't equal future results. We got to give those disclaimers. Right now, I'm not giving you any financial advice. I don't know your financial situation. I am just giving you facts based off of my experience and what I've seen out here, what I've been able to, help clients with, things of that nature. But this is not to be confused with any consultation or financial advice. All right. Are there any questions? If not, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. If you'd like to get with me, feel free to do that. You can reach out by, texting this number here. Let's see. What does it say here, Stephanie? You can actually download our free retirement planning guide at shatika.com. Go to Shatika. Everything is at shatika.com. You can go there and you can download our free retirement planning guide. And you can text the word retire to 678-736-6496 if you would like to be a part of that. If you want to be a part of a live masterclass, then you can text masterclass to 678-736-6496. We got some other things coming your way as well, but you have to get on our email list in order to do that. So when you go and you download that free retirement planning guide, you will be on our email list, and we better give you some more information. We got a lot of great content coming via email. I've partnered with some marketing people, and they've helped me with a lot of great information to share around taxation, around retirement, and all those types of things. So if you're not on my email, you are missing out on some great information. All right. Because if you think you're seeing something, and when we just kind of like drip on you a little bit on social media, you haven't seen anything till you get into my emails. Emails is where it's at. All right. Any other questions before we move on? Because we never want to be long. We only want to be strong. Let's see if there's any questions. Nope. All right. Well, thank you. Have an amazing night. It is late. Have a good night. We'll see you at the top because you belong there. And we will not be going live on Friday. We'll postpone that. This is your Friday night tonight. Our goal is to go every other Friday night at 8 p.m. To go live. So, you can definitely go ahead and follow our YouTube channel because you can count on us to be there when you can't count on us to be anywhere else. You can go and look at our other content. There's quite a bit of content out there because there's always something to talk about. God bless you. Have an amazing Winning in Wealth evening, and tomorrow is Winning in Wealth Wednesday. God bless.